Hey YouTubers, it's RacermanXtreme here, and welcome back to another episode of Restless Driver. This is Season 4, Episode 3, and we're doing it live once again. I think we're going to continue that trend. So the first car we have is the Nissan Skyline R32 touring car from Nissan, and I think it's pretty freaking cool, because we did another take of this show on 4th of July, and the car was quite good. I just didn't have the right tires on it, so I'm gonna go ahead and read over this real quick. Why does Gran Turismo have a main menu as a main hub for a console? What? Whatever. I'm gonna stop caring about the chat so we can actually get started with this. So we'll enter full screen, hide sidebar. So yeah, if you're watching this live, I would consider yourself pretty lucky, because I'm going to have an official version with the camera right here edited in, and this should be pretty fun. So, without further ado, I guess I can move this over just a little bit. And yeah, so this car is the Nissan Skyline, as I stated earlier. It's pretty freaking fast. The thing makes about 800 horsepower. And I have to say, the cornering on it is actually pretty good. Now, I do have to let you guys know right now that this car is slightly tuned in the suspension, so it will handle a lot better. I found a suspension tune kind of trend, so I can basically go to any car and just kind of eyeball it and basically get the same kind of handling out of it. So, I think I finally figured out how to tune the suspension and stuff. So we're going to see how fast it goes around the track real quick. It does handle quite nicely. Can get up to about, I'm guessing, 160, and then we brake. This time's gonna be a little bit slower. So it runs about a 49 around the track. I'd say that's pretty good. Just for comparison, a lot of cars tend to run, I guess mid-40s, mid-50s at the most. Obviously you want the lower time of 40 something. Whoa. Yeah, it's a little laggy on my screen. This game runs in about 60 FPS. It sure looks like it, even though my preview says otherwise, and the actual reality says otherwise. In case you guys are unaware, Gran Turismo 6 is the official racing game of the PS3. It's the second version of Gran Turismo for the PS3, and it actually utilizes the cell processor completely. It utilizes the GPU completely, all the RAM completely. So it is 100% optimized, and it will only be on the PlayStation 3 because it utilizes the cell processor, which is not your typical processor like you might find in the PS4 or an actual computer. And in case you guys did not know, the PS4 just uses a processor similar to a computer's APU, which would be from AMD. But I don't want to talk too much because this isn't a tech show, this is a car show. I guess my love for technology is really starting to overtake my car love, but I don't know. I'd say it's kind of fun. So, got a 48 out of the car. I'm going to do one more lap, and then I'll show you guys the interior, and I will take you guys back to the garage to have a better look at it, because you guys have only seen it from the front and back. Smoke there. And this car does use a high high RPM range turbo, so that's part of the reason why I get 797 horsepower. Sweet, 4790 or 973, close enough. All right, here's the interior. So it's not too whoops. It's not okay, this car, well, it's the steering wheel because if I were to show you, basically the thing is really easy to like press the, like it's really easy to press the wrong button is what I'm trying to say. So I might accidentally press this and actually like change the camera angle, but as you can see, it's pretty basic. It's got a roll cage, it's got Gran Turismo written like where the sun like part would be, or like the sun block thing that they put in the windshield, so it acts as a sun visor, if you will, but it's not really a sun visor. I don't really know what they call it other than like a sun strip or something, but they do have Gran Turismo written on it. I just chose the random number of 25 because why not? My car's currently painted red. I think you can customize it. So we'll go ahead and go over here. I'll check the chat real quick because we probably have one. So, actually, before we do that, let's go to car settings. So as you can see, it's got 797 horsepower, an overall performance points rating of 627. It weighs just over 1,100 kilograms, which I don't know what that converts to in pounds, but if you're from another country, you might know. It does have a pretty good weight distribution, with a little more in the front than there is in the back. We don't know the exact measurements, unfortunately, but we do have 570 pound-feet of torque. Although I think it's like feet-pound of torque or pound-feet of torque. I don't know. I hear pound-feet of torque all the time. It's kind of looks kind of backwards to me. Power-to-weight ratio 1.43 kilograms per horsepower, which is actually pretty good. Considering the car is so light and it's got so much power, that ratio should be about that anyway. Which steering wheel is the best? I think the Logitech ones are very nice. Yep. Just to prove it, these are both Logitechs. This is the G29, this is the G27, and of course I have the pedals for the G27 and the stick shift for it too. I have the whole thing, and then this is the whole setup for the G29/920. If you want to buy the stick shift for the 920, you're still going to end up buying this unit because they only made one unit. If I had to answer that question, Vic5, my favorite Skyline probably either, I don't know, I kind of like the R33, but the R34 is pretty good. I'm not much of a Japanese car person. The only Japanese car I really like is the Miata, but I don't know, I might get a lot of backlash for that. But hey, I can have my own opinion, right? And if I had to go with anything, it would be a Jag. Because I don't know if you guys knew this, but at the end of every single video since like 2016, the end of it, I've been putting a picture of our car. So, yeah, here is the R32 touring car. My head's kind of in the way, but we can go to gallery. So here it is. I think it looks pretty good. I know, I think JR Garage has an R32. If you guys have seen that guy on YouTube. Like, he actually has one imported and stuff. So, as you can see, I got a pretty nice wing on the back. It's nothing I can really control because it is the touring car. But, yeah, it's pretty good. So that's a good outside look of it. I don't know what kind of options. I mean, I don't really go into this depth on the car, but I just want to see what kind of options there are for my personal need. So, take you guys along for the ride. Aero kits. You can't mod. Wheels. You can mod. Okay, I might want to get different wheels. Don't judge me, everyone has their own rim taste. But I'm probably going to just look around. Yeah, those aren't too good. No. Here, I need a better look at this. Let me full screen it. There's something about them I don't like. Might be because I'm going a little bit larger than I need to. Now, those look good. We'll do it from this angle, just so you guys can see it a little bit better. I don't know, I don't know, this car really does interest me. It's got the back to the basics look, and it's also, well, modified into a race car, so you get the best of both worlds. You get modern handling with the classic look of a Nissan Skyline. I'm gonna go with those. If you guys don't like them, go buy your own PS3, your own Gran Turismo 6 copy, and your own car, and your own rims. But I have to say, that does look pretty good. I'm not trying to rice anything. If I ever look like a ricer in the future, just note that I'm trying not to. So, oh yeah, the other thing is, because I've never really had a capture card before, everything I did in Restless Driver had to be either in the moment or it had to be in the form of a replay, because, again, I couldn't just casually go over to the mod shop feature over here and casually buy rims. I couldn't do that before. I had to probably have a capture card just to, I don't know, I guess, make it look better and stuff. Now, I mean, in the original days when I used to point this camera right here at the TV, I could have probably done it, but now that I got my 40-inch, I've always had to do my phone pointed at the TV or something. So, I guess the next car we'll review is this one over here. Now, what are my thoughts of it? I had it tuned, and I think it handled pretty good. So, I didn't do too much to it, but I did mess with the suspension a lot, and it didn't take that much to upgrade it. So, I'd say it's a pretty good car. Probably a 4 out of 5 rating just because of what it is and stuff. I couldn't give you a Doug score on it, but I could give you a, just what are my thoughts? If just judging what it should be and what it is, I'd say 4 out of 5. I couldn't really picture it any better than it was. Next car, if I can find one that I want to review. We can do the R33 later, not now. I'm gonna go in terms of date acquired because I bought a bunch of cars for this show, and I have yet to review even close to the amount of them. It's like the cars I started buying for the show are like back in 2016, and there is a large gap between the last car that I bought and the first car that I bought hoping to be able to use a capture card to record. It's way down here. So, I don't know, we're going to go back up, and we're going to hop on into the, I think I remember the cars we did last time and the time before. So, we're going to go with, how about the Zonda? I've always had a, you know, an interest in this car. It's pretty good. So, did we do the Zonda last time or the time before? No, we did the SP1 and the F430, and then we did the two Mitsubishis, and then after that, I don't think we did this car. Don't think we did this car. So here's what I'm gonna do just to get it ready for the way I drive and the way I expect it to drive. I'm just gonna casually throw a tune on it. So we're gonna drop it. Now, yeah, luckily the car comes with the height adjustable, fully customizable suspension, so I suppose it's fair. I just want to give it a better review than stock, because the way it handles stock is pretty good, but I don't know. I guess we could just, I don't know. How about this? I'll do it stock, and then I'll tune it the way I usually tune stuff, and then I'll try to give it a different review. So, here's stock. There's no mods on the car that I'm aware of. I don't remember modding it. Should be pretty fun. How long have we been live streaming for? Doesn't say, but we've been recording for 16 minutes. Okay. So, driving options. Alright. Well, I do have to make sure that the tires are right on it, because I want to give it the most fair review and the fastest lap there is, you know, possible for this car. Then why do I remember driving it? Why do I remember driving? Hold on, guys. I might have actually reviewed this car already. It just seems like very familiar. Although I did drive it a lot back in the Gran Turismo 5 days. Like, I remember when I first started playing Gran Turismo 5, this was like one of my go-to cars just to drive. So, I don't know what happened in the last show. Yeah, here it is. Official. So it was an hour long. It's got tons of ads on it. Yeah, hold on. I'm gonna mute that. So there's that car. There's the Esperante. Oh, this was the IS350. IS350. What was the last car I did? I did race car. Oh, that's right. I did race cars. Okay, yeah. Sorry, guys. Sorry about that. So, we have not done the Zonda R. If I have not done it in Season 4, I haven't done it at all. Because I bought it for Season 4. So this thing is a monster of a car. Whoa, did I like turn TCS off or something? Yes. This car is super light. I would not drive it without... What the... Okay, let's tune this up. You gotta love the G29. It's got the buttons from the Driving Force GT, so it's got the red knob, so you can press the button in the center, pull up the menu, and then you just scroll up and down. Now, I did program it on the G27, but you have to press the equivalent to the triangle and then use the D-pad to navigate up and down and to go plus and minus. So like plus and minus for the values would be left and right on the D-pad, and then up and down would be plus and minus on this. Look at the G29 if you have no idea what I'm talking about. You guys can get a better front picture of it, or just wait for the official version of this show to come out, and you guys will literally see this camera right here the whole time looking at my wheel, and you'll know what I'm talking about. So yeah, this car is very lightweight, but it's also a monster with its quad exhaust pipes. Definitely hugs the corners very well. Full-on carbon fiber, what looks to be everywhere on this car. Spun out. But I've always loved this car, and it's never gonna get a bad rating because look how fast it's going. And by the way, ignore that lap time up in the corner. I guess that way. Everything's backwards. So it ran a 47 on the first try. That's not too far off from our skyline after several laps. And with a tune. I did run a much better lap the first time, or the second time I should say, but pretty good. Also, there's one car I wish they would add to Gran Turismo Sport that's by Pagani. I hope it's one of these, because this is a heck of a car. I know they're going to add that new Pagani that I've never really pronounced right, so I'm not going to try it, but it's the successor to the Zonda. I think it's the Huayra or something. I don't know. I mean, I might have had it right, but it's always been a weird name to me. Not even a full second. But yeah, this is a great car. I definitely love it. I would not recommend it if you're on a budget, but I would recommend it if you have plenty of money to spend on a car that's just so freaking cool to look at, and it just flies around the track, and you don't have to do anything to it at all. So, I guess I can give you guys a better look at the interior of it. So let's see, we got our carbon fiber door panels. You don't get that much of a center console or anything. It's very futuristic to look at and stuff. So yeah, I'd say it's a pretty good car. Now, I think the car is worth like $2 million or something in this game, so unless you got like $2 million to blow or something, I would not bother with it. Only because of the price. For 737 horsepower, it does have a worse power to weight ratio, but it is lighter, so I guess you can take that into account. It being 60 horsepower less than the Skyline that we just reviewed, but at the same time, it is about 100 kilograms lighter. And it's got a better weight distribution with more weight focused in the back because the engine happens to be in the back. It is not four-wheel drive, it is actually MR, so it's got rear-wheel drive with the mid-mounted engine. And we do know feet-pound of torque is 524. I still want to say pound-feet of torque, but they might have it backwards in real life. But this might have it backwards. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's a different number or something. I don't know. But we do know the torque number is 524. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll down to body just so I can make sure that turbo kit right here is the only thing I have to see. So let's see. 779. Versus 906. Of course, we have to view this. Okay, so we're gonna get this. So now we have a very high power to weight ratio in favor of power and lightness. This is a monster now. I'm probably gonna have to tune the suspension just to handle some of it. So, I'm gonna show you guys my trick that I kind of developed probably at the end of last year. I was playing Gran Turismo a lot last year. So I'm gonna put that up. I'm gonna put this up a lot more. I think I want to make that one. I'm trying to remember how I did it. Well, I know that I make this, whatever this number is, this would have to be way up here. So that is my trick. Whatever this number is, the difference has to be the same, which is 0.15. No matter what car it's on, the difference between this and this have to be 0.15. Camber angle, I usually tune this up to a random number, and then I make this one just a little bit less, so I might make it this or that. I usually just do a 0.1 degree difference. Anti-roll bars, I want more in the front, I want more in the front, I still want more in the front. I can't remember what I did for MR cars, but it's gonna be more, so I'm just gonna firm it up a bit. Actually, because these are on Racing Soft, I need to put this one up as much as I can. And I want this right here so I don't have understeer, so I think we should be good. Let's see what this thing can run around our truck now. Oh, and also, if this goes on for like 10 minutes, I'm probably just gonna do one more car and then sign off for the live stream. But, oh my gosh, this thing is a monster. But I'm used to monsters in this game. Crap, this thing is a monster of turns. It's very, very easy to hug the corner. Probably should have gotten some racing brakes if they're available. And one of the fastest laps I've ever done, probably. Around this track in a car. In any car. Barely have to turn the wheel, that's awesome to know, because you know the car's gonna turn no matter what. Now, here's the other thing. Don't tune for me, alright? My tunes are designed to suit what I like and how I drive, because I'm not the greatest tuner ever, but I know what works for me. So, your mileage may vary if you decide to copy my tune on your Pagani Zonda R. So, please do not copy my tunes, but please feel free to use them. Just remember to give me credit when you go to your lobby and wreck someone, and then they're like, dang, where'd you get that tune from? Don't say you made it up, say that I made it up. Or just give them a link to my channel if you don't have a mic. You know, obviously that little wipeout is going to cost you a second or two, but yeah, I do tend to overshoot the corner, so whoops. this car is kind of unstable if you're overshooting corners and stuff, so don't like, I get it, that's something that happens in just about every car ever. Overshoot, it's going to be a little unstable trying to recover, but it's not the best car to try to, I guess, like, I don't know, if you're trying to, like, recover yourself, I wouldn't count on it actually, like, working. Unless you know what you're doing or something. Which, in some cases, I don't. I think we're going to do one more lap and then say goodbye to this car and move on to something else. Oh, now we're starting to get better. Whoops. I kind of cut that corner there. So, yeah, it runs a 44, 45 second lap. It's not bad, but it is, well, I guess it's kind of like one of the better laps I've ever had. I mean, I haven't raced on this track enough, but I have raced a lot of cars around here. I don't really remember the times I had, but if you go back and watch some of the Restless driver videos from Season 4, earlier this season, in other words, and then compare it to a 44, 45, this is not a bad car at all. It's actually one of the better cars. But it's not up to my standard because that car should have ran a 42, 43 if I had cornered better and stuff like that. But it should have ran a better time. So I guess it's an okay car. It's just, I don't know, a lot of people don't have that kind of money, but if you've been playing the game for a long time, you probably do have that kind of money or the ability to get that kind of money. So we're going to go check out the dealership, something I normally don't do, but just to, I guess, prove a point, you can get the Nissan that is over here. Oh, it's up here. You can get the Nissan that's probably in the very back. Here it is. You can get for $233K a car that I reviewed earlier, or you can come over here, you know, with your whole, you know, savings and stuff, and buy this car for 1.65. Now, this car stomped the Skyline, but it depends on what kind of race you're doing, and do you really need to spend that much money on a car? Whether or not you should buy it, I don't know. It depends on your situation, but I would avoid it if you don't have to have a high-end Pagani as your car. Now, yeah, I bet if I were to oil it and maybe adjust the suspension and make it understeer a little less than it was, which there is a way to do that. You just tighten the springs and stuff, but if I were to do something like that, yeah, I could probably run a 43 and have a little more stable, you know, a little more stable experience compared to that. So we're going to go ahead and move on to the next car. And I will tell you guys right now, my name might say RacermanXtreme, but I'm not the best driver there ever was. Otherwise, I would have every single game mastered and whatnot. Now, I do have a pretty good trophy rating on Gran Turismo 6 right now, but it doesn't really say anything about how good you are against other people. I'm not the greatest one ever, so again, you know, I guess if you're more of a casual person, this show's perfect and stuff because I'm casual. I'm not hardcore, but I don't know, my steering will say otherwise. So we're gonna go ahead and move on to another car. We're gonna do I don't think I've done this car. I only chose cars from down here. When did I buy this? Because that would answer all my questions. No, I'm not saying I'm unreliable. I'm just saying I'm not the best racer there ever was. So you can only give me so much trust, and I hope you give me as much as you can. So 12, 14, 16. Let's go out to the track. So I don't know what kind of tires this thing has, but I know that both times we ran the Zonda and whenever we did the Skyline, they were both on racing softs. So what does this car have? It has racing soft. That's what I expect out of this car. There are only a certain amount of them made, and I know that Jay Leno has one. Lucky him. And I know I have one. It's in my closet. It's a little RC car that I got a couple years ago. Oh my gosh, this car's slow. But it does know how to sound good. Okay, I'm not used to this car yet, so my first lap is never the best. Now I know what I'm dealing with. I'm not dealing with a get up and go acceleration car. I'm dealing with a, let's just see how good it can actually go around a corner. Not very well. But it is a 2008. But then again, it's one of a kind, sort of. It's very rare. There's only a certain amount of them, and you can probably count them on your hands or your hands and your friend's hands put together. There's not many of them that I know of. I have to look up the exact number they made, but it's not many. So this is officially one of the more slow cars around our track, even though that lap time I said is not to be trusted. I'm gonna just get on it and go. Holy crap, though. I never thought Lamborghini would actually have a car this slow. And it would smoke that much? Jeez. Okay, hold on. How many gears does this thing have? 6? Okay, so it has 6 gears. What's the interior? Okay, so it doesn't have the prettiest interior in terms of the color. Right there. Well, like down there. That ugly, like, tan color. It's like a green tan, something like that. Can't even go up the hill in 6th gear. Or 2nd. So the gears are very stretched out. I wonder what I was doing in this car. Did I ever drive it? Or did it say 00 on the odometer? 649 horsepower, 4-wheel drive. Horrible power to weight ratio in terms of how heavy it is and how much power it's making. Now, I get a lot of cars are going to have that kind of power to weight ratio, but in terms of what we saw earlier, this is awful. Is there any way to put more bang into it? Of course there is. So, it ran an awful lap time of around 54, 55, whatever that said. It's absolutely stomp what it had. Now, the car does have good customization, something that can't be said about the other cars. And it's very easy to get power into this vehicle. And just so you know, I cannot see past my head, so... Like, if my head is in the way, like right here or something, I just know I can't see where the cursor is. Now, is there any way to lighten this thing so... Yes, there is. Now we're looking at a better power to weight ratio. That's good. So now we're down to a 1.35. That's actually pretty good. Suspension. I'm gonna go to work on the suspension. So it does have race brakes already. It looks like I've already tried modifying this, sort of. Well, there's only one way to find out. Reset to default. Yep, I did mess with it. So I've been here. But I wonder why. So we want... We want that there. I'm gonna bump this up a bit. I don't know what I was thinking when I tuned this car, but it was not a good thing. This car is not at all how I tune cars. So we're gonna do 2.3 and we're gonna do 2.2. We're gonna go here and we're gonna put this at... I think I'm gonna do that there, and then this will go to here. Brake balance. No, we're gonna put this at 7. We're gonna leave the back one alone. And drivetrain, anything we want to upgrade here. I'm just gonna tune both of these up. Want more acceleration in the back. I want better braking in the front. Just making sure I'm reading everything that I need to know. And when we are going to upgrade all of this. I can tune that while I'm on the track, which is cool. I'll tune it on the track, I can't see it. So now we should have a much better driving experience. Let me just make sure that the set to racing soft. We're in manual. So let's go ahead and start with this. So we've done Skyline, Zonda, and this. Oh my gosh, now this is something I wanted to drive when I first hopped into it. It is a little unstable. I can feel it trying to turn the other way when I'm braking. Like if I'm about to turn right, I could feel it kind of pulling to the left a little bit. So, my overall thoughts on this car so far are it's slow. I wouldn't bother buying it because the car's worth like $1 million or so. And it's got pretty bad handling. Considering that I did put my generic tune on it that usually works for just about every car ever. And yeah. Yeah, I'm not gonna bother with this car. Thumbs down on what I think of it. I don't really like it. I'm gonna go ahead and check the chat just cause why not? So let me go to my live dashboard. So we still got 2 people watching. Awesome. No, you're not the only one watching. Alright. Oh, and I didn't exactly get to the... Like, I'm not reading the chat when I'm driving and stuff, but I just read from Delta Games, RacermanXtreme, what's your fave supercar? Mine is the F40. Mine's the one that stomped the F40 and then got stomped by McLaren. Well, one of them, I guess. One of my favorite supercars is the XJ220 just because it's a Jag, but it did, in fact, crush your F40, so... Yeah, hi. So we have more viewers again. That's awesome. I mean, I'm doing the show live as... Like, I'm recording. I'm doing it live. Are there any cars you think I should drive? And also, just so you know, this game came out in 2013. So if you guys are going to pick a car, it has to be fairly old or fairly recent. But... It can't be, like, older than, like, 1960, but it can't be newer than 2016, you know? So, I guess just as a recap for the live people, Skyline is pretty good. Zonda is impressive. I've always loved it and stuff. It's very impressive. The Reventon is awful. I don't like it. I'm not going to ever recommend it. My favorite new supercar... I don't really have one. I mean, they're all pretty good. I guess my most recent one... I mean, here's the other thing. I hate to classify cars as hypercars. I just don't think they should be called hypercars. I think supercar and hypercar are kind of the same thing. So, I guess supercar and hypercar... I mean, I know they're 2 different terms and stuff, but I don't like to associate them like that. It's just my personal preference. But one of my favorite supercars is definitely the XJ220. But then again, I guess out of recent cars, it wouldn't be that one because Hammond just got into a major car wreck with it. That new electric supercar that's gonna, that Richard Hammond got in a crash with a while ago. I don't like that one. The new Bugatti is actually pretty cool. I actually like the way it looks. If I were to tell you my favorite car, I would just tell you the name of my dad's car. So, I wouldn't ask that question to me. I'm very biased for Jaguar and against everything that isn't Jaguar. So we're gonna do one more car because I've been doing this for 50 minutes or so. What does the live stream say? Live stream never lies. So what does the live stream say? An hour. So this live stream has been going on for an hour. I don't want to waste anyone's time or anything with this. And I bet you guys are like, oh, well, what are you talking about? I'm not wasting you're not wasting my time and stuff. Well, I want to be able to go do other things later too. Yeah, thanks, Crazy. Alright, final car of tonight. The car that I always thought I had as an RC car. But it's not. Actually, hold on. I want to show you guys something. This car down here. It's somewhere down here. It would be... Which one? I don't know where it went. Oh, wait. No, I don't see it. I don't know. I know that this was my first car ever on any edition of Gran Turismo. It would be Gran Turismo 5 back in 2012. This was my first car. And the first car I ever bought is somewhere up here. Or at least my first premium car. Oh, and also, in case you guys are wondering, this car right here, it's 1 a.m. I'm such a savage. Yeah, try staying up until 5. I'll tell you who the savage is now. Boy. It's not my thing, but still. So let's see, May 8th, 2016, and then I think the one right below this is... I mean, the one right above it is the one that I bought. And then anything above it, I literally bought for this show and for this season. So I hope to get through them by the end of, like, Season 7, if that's even a thing. By then, we might actually be on Gran Turismo Sport, so I did all of that for nothing. But I worked my butt off getting, I think, 116 cars for this show. Yep. I didn't buy a car between May and November. So, June, July, August, Sept, Oct, Nov, 6 months. Wow. And it's 8:18 here. So, it's not raining or anything. So, let me see if I can find that car that I wanted to drive. I don't see it. I mean, I probably passed it already, but I don't see it. So I'm going to go to manufacturer. And we're going to go down to Nissan. If this arrow thing right here, this D-pad. Look, it's very easy to like press the wrong button while using the D-pad, so... I don't know what's going on with that. Might have been one of the first cars I bought. Here it is. So, this is like as close as I can get to the car that I have in my closet in the form of an RC car. Yeah, I've actually had the RC car in my closet since my birthday, in which I got Gran Turismo 5, which I think is pretty cool. I don't think they added this car until this game, so... If you were to go on Gran Turismo 5, you couldn't really find it. But if you guys want to know the like, I guess, the livery on it, it basically looks like this car's livery. So, like, take this car, like, take the car that I just showed you, and then put this livery on it. You basically get what I'm talking about. So here's a gallery. Yeah, I can see them kind of side by side because I got the live stream preview, which is really far behind what's actually happening. But, like right now on the live stream preview, I'm getting the, Calsonic out. Yeah, you have to admit, this car on the Gran Turismo, like in the gallery that I'm showing right now, you have to admit it looks pretty freaking good. So I don't really want to grab it out of my closet, but it basically is a hybrid of those two cars. And I always thought that that car right there is the well, the one right there is the one that I have in real life, but it's not. GTA 5 is so dead. Yeah. Well, I only stopped playing it because the gun running DLC, they literally killed the game with it. Like Rockstar single-handedly killed the game with gun running, making everything too overpriced, ruining my live stream, making me stay up until like 5 in the morning just to wait on a live stream DLC or a live streamed reveal of the DLC that I was doing on my own channel. It died with the end of the PS3 support. I have to disagree on that because they have added some pretty cool features since then, but that's when they really overdid it, was with the last DLC. I mean, if they hadn't come out with Heist, we would still have stuff from the 2014 era that I remember very clearly, with the hipster update and the last team standing. Those are the good DLCs, the ones that I remember. I also know that the first DLC I ever witnessed was the High Life, because I joined in after they released the business update on my birthday, but I didn't exactly join on my birthday. I joined in not a month later, but later that month I would join in, and the DLC they released on my birthday of March 4th, the business update, that was the one. But anyway, back onto topic, we're going to go ahead and test drive this one. I don't think we've done the Fairlady Z that I showed, that I kept saying I had a Calsonic Fairlady Z in my closet. I don't think I reviewed the base model yet, but I do know that we are going to do this one and then turn off the live stream. I will probably do an open lobby sometime in the future. I don't know. I got a question about that from Irish Joe Delaney, but yeah, we'll see later what will happen. Heist were good in import, export, not those stupid vehicles. Import and export was good, but the vehicles weren't, like the special vehicles. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and full screen this. Nice chatting with everyone, but I gotta get on with the show, because remember, this is a recording and I have a camera right here that has limited storage. It's not like I can just back this file up to something else. Although if I were to put it on, it would take mini DVDs. I wouldn't want to back it up to disk, but I could, like, I do have a 6 terabyte hard drive, and I can just delete some of the files that I don't need after I'm done messing with them, or something. I don't know. Yeah, that's exactly how I remember it on PS3 in terms of sound. So this is a Nissan GTR Calsonic. So it is a GT500 car, and it sounds exactly the way I remember it on Gran Turismo 5 back in the day. I never had any complaints about it, because I always thought it was the one that I could literally drive around my living room. And I don't expect a good lap time, because this is a race car. It's supposed to have a similar lap time to all the other cars. So just to get a general idea of what you're paying for, this is $950,000 at its finest in terms of Japanese GT500 race car form. We are on racing hard, so I'm not going to get the full amount of grip out of my tires like I have been last time. And the time before, and the time before that. So it does pull away with a solid, I'd say about 50 seconds. Yep. Oh, whoa, whoa, really cut that corner. Really cut that corner. Car's trying to grip, but it can't. So it understeers a little bit, but for the most part, it's actually pretty good with handling. Trying to go as fast as you can and not really caring about your speed, other than you want it to be as fast as possible. Car can prevent you from flying off the track, though. At least it has that amount of grip. Finally pulled away from it a little bit. Alright, here we go. Now I think we're going to run about a 49. Because this is already faster than my 50.1 time. Oh, maybe not. I know I ran it quicker in some areas, that's for sure. So, this car runs about a solid 50 seconds. Now, if you guys are wondering what a race car looks like on the inside, here you go. Well, a Japanese race car. So, first of all, we're on the wrong side of the car in America, but I haven't really said anything like that throughout the show, but it is a fun place to drive. If you guys want to sit in a car and drive on the wrong side of the road and stuff in America, or race around a track in the other seat, well, it's pretty fun because I've done it a couple times for videos, and it's been very fun. I've enjoyed every second of it. So you got carbon fiber, you got your switches. I don't know what this thing is right there, that like white tank looking thing. I don't exactly know what that is, but I can't really read that. Hold on. I have no idea what that is. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some power to it. I'm going to change out the tires, and we're going to do one more set of laps in it. And my overall rating is not, I'm trying not to be biased with it. I think it ran a pretty solid 50 seconds, which is pretty good. Considering that this car, again, only has like 500 horsepower, and it's a race car for a series where everyone's going to basically be the same. And in this game, everyone really is the same because they choose a lot of cars from the same era. So 755 versus 884 versus 726. I think we're going to go with high RPM range. And the only reason why I've been checking on all three kinds of turbos is because some of them actually do better in the mid-range than they do in the high range. Some motors do. So, probably nothing. Yep, just standard. Alright, suspension. We should have a fully customizable one by default. So we're gonna lower that down, lower this down, tighten this. Not that much. We do have racing softs, so I want to make this as tight as possible. We're going to lower this down just a little bit, just so we can see the bar in which the little circle thing slides on. I just want to see the little tip of it at the very end, or the very start, I guess, of it, where it wraps around like this. It's like, here's your circle, and then here's like the end. I want the slider to be hiding the end of it as much as possible, so you get something like this. Or you can see a sliver of the black bar that it slides on, just a tiny sliver. So it is as tight as I want it without overdoing it or anything like that. Yeah, I cannot talk sometimes. It's gonna be fun trying to edit. Probably not gonna, like, I don't usually cut stuff out of Restless Driver because everything kind of flows in a sense that if you cut something, you're cutting a little more than you think. So, camber, we're gonna do that at 1.7. We're gonna do this at 1.8. I want most of the tires on the ground. And we're gonna up that to 7. Anything we can do with drivetrain. Yeah, I'm not even gonna touch that. So here we go. We have a fully tuned car in terms of power and in terms of suspension and tires. Let's see what we can do. Holy crap, this thing is so fun to drive already. So here we go, we have a car that literally stomps the stock version. There we go, something to actually compete with the Zonda. That's awesome. There we go. Now we have a really good lap. Wow, 44. What did the Zonda get? I'll have to look back at the editing to get the exact time, but you basically pay half the price, mod the car a little bit, and voila, you have a car that literally stomps a very close to 2 million credit car. For under $1 million. Well, except for turbo and tires and yeah, that's it. Maybe an oil change. But yeah, I literally stomped the need to buy a Pagani Zonda. So what have we learned today? We've learned that the Skyline R32 touring car in Gran Turismo 6 is pretty good. By the way, that car does not exist in real life. It only exists in the video game. So that's why it's the Gran Turismo touring car edition. We know that that car is pretty good. Next, we know that the Zonda has a pretty good bang for the buck if you're in the market for a very expensive Pagani or some other Italian car. We know that that's a pretty good option, but if you don't have the money for it, you can either waste it on the Reventon or you can spend it wisely on the Calsonic that I have loved since I used to do GT5 arcade mode just for fun. It was a very fun car to drive, along with the Zonda back in the day. Good old 2012. I miss it. But thank you so much for watching Restless Driver Season 4, Episode 3. I'm going to go and cut the live stream. If you guys are watching this recorded, I hope that the steering wheel edition was pretty good. And I hope the rest of your day is good. So, without further ado, I'll see you guys later.
Calling, collect from jail for the things I commit each night in my head. Like last night.